Master Sauron the Great bids thee welcome.
This video is dedicated to Ramon. If any of you have a specific topic you would like covered, please leave a comment and I will do my best to cover it for you. In the Battle of Morannon, the representatives of the West call upon the Lords of the Black Land.
The Lord of the Black Land, come forth! Let justice be done upon him!
In an attempt to negotiate a treaty between the war-torn kingdoms. This is when we meet the frightening lieutenant of the Lord of Mordor, the Mouth of Sauron. The messenger greets the representatives of the West before they enter into dialogue. I must say, what we get in the film adaptations is vastly different to the novels. If you haven't seen the extended editions of the films, I recommend you get on them straight away. They really changed the way that I view the theatrical releases. But let's face it, since you're on my channel, you've probably witnessed the extended editions numerous times. In the films, the Mouth of Sauron inquires to the companions if there is any worthy to treat with him. When Gandalf speaks for the captains, claiming that Sauron's armies must disband, and that he is to depart Middle-earth, never to return. When the Mouth of Sauron interjects with Frodo's mithril coat, alluding to the company that the halfling is, well, dead. Aragorn, in his anger, abruptly beheads the messenger, which is quite contrasting behaviour from the character of the ranger. Boom, negotiations concluded. I'm going to be honest, this scene was really cool for me when I first witnessed the extended editions, as I only knew him from the Return of the King video games. However, upon reading the novelizations, this scene felt really rushed and it could have held more discourse. It really didn't do justice that such a cool and frightening character deserved. Now let's go through the events that took place in lore, where a negotiation was discussed more so from the Mouth of Sauron than the captains. And let's uncover the origins of the messenger. For starters, the Mouth of Sauron, also known as Mordu, which translates to black darkness in black speech, was mounted upon a special steed, which appeared as a horse, if a horse it was. The beast was huge and hideous, and in its eyes and nostrils burned a flame. I assume either himself, Sauron, or perhaps another dark necromancer placed a curse upon the horse to place fear in the hearts upon those who dealt with Mordu. The Mouth of Sauron was the lieutenant of the Tower of Barad-dûr, and his original name is remembered in no tale, for he himself had forgotten it. The lieutenant is a renegade to the race of Númenóreans. He is known as a Black Númenórean, a creed that established their dwellings in Middle-earth during the years of Sauron's domination, and they worshipped him, being enamored of evil knowledge. According to Tolkien's work, the Mouth of Sauron entered the service of the Dark Lord when Barad-dûr first rose again, which means he served Sauron for around 77 years. His age is not exactly clear, but since he is of Númenórean descent, I'd say he is at least 110 years old, and due to his cunning, he grew ever higher in his lord's favour, learning great sorcery and understanding the mind of Sauron at a greater depth than any man or servant. Now let's analyse the interaction of the servant of the Black Land and the captains of the West. The messenger began negotiations by scornfully mocking Aragorn, claiming that it takes more to be a king than a broken piece of Elvish glass, referring to his sword Andúril, further insulting him by calling him a brigand of the hills. Aragorn stared intently, which startled the Mouth, who asserted that he was an herald and an ambassador, and that he was not to be harmed. This is when the cool head of the White Wizard assures that he has nothing to fear, and the Mouth acknowledges Old Greybeard as the spokesman of the group, assuring the messenger that he would not be harmed. The Mouth of Sauron signaled to one of his guards, and he came forward bearing a bundle swathed in black cloths. In it were 3 items: Sam's barrow blade, a grey cloak with an elven brooch, and Frodo's mithril mail. Gandalf and Pippin's reaction revealed to the messenger that these extracted items were of extreme importance.
Frodo!
Silence.
No!
Silence!
The halfling was dear to thee, I see.
The blade of the downfallen West, an elven coat, dwarven armour, and a spy from a land known as the Shire had shown the enemy an alliance and conspiracy to destroy the East. It was plain that Frodo had failed, but it was clear that the ring was not yet in the enemy's hands. Hope was on the horizon yet. Nonetheless, the Mouth saw the fear in their faces. He knew that the possessor of the items that he had presented was dear to thee, or at least his mission was of great importance. The messenger counseled the captains that Sauron does not have a love for spies, referring to Frodo. Instead of alluding that Frodo suffered greatly as we see in the films, he warned the captains that the halfling's fate lies in their hands. The Mouth assured the company that the halfling will endure slow torment over the years, and that perhaps when he is broken, he will be released. That is unless the captains accept the Lord Sauron's terms. These are the terms, said the messenger, and smiled as he eyed them one by one. The rabble of Gondor and its deluded allies shall withdraw at once beyond the Underwing, first taking oaths never again to assail Sauron the Great in arms, open or secret. All lands east of the Underwing shall be Sauron's forever solely. West of the Underwing, as far as the Misty Mountains and the Gap of Rohan, shall be tributary to Mordor, and men there shall bear no weapons, but shall have leave to govern their own affairs. But they shall help to rebuild Isengard, which they have wantonly destroyed, and that shall be Sauron's, and there his lieutenant shall dwell, not Saruman, but one more worthy of trust, referring to himself. Realizing that the Mouth would be their tyrant, and they his slaves, Gandalf claims that it is too much to demand, for Sauron would have to win many wars for this achievement. The wizard declares that he will consider these terms if the prisoner is brought before and yielded to him. The Mouth cried that Sauron does not provide clemency and that the offer was to be accepted or rejected. The wizard rejected them utterly, telling the Mouth of Sauron to be gone. The Mouth hopped onto his steed and retreated back into the gates whence he came, and he was not harmed by Aragorn. It is safe to assume that he did die in Tolkien's works, with the destruction of the ring and the collapse of the Dark Tower on the same day as their encounter. There are markings upon the crown of the lieutenant. The runes on his helmet read Lamen Gothor, which is Sindarin for voice of the dread abomination. There were quite a few markings inscribed onto his mask, which covered his hideous face and blind eyes. It is quite difficult to tell exactly what is written on his mask, perhaps a poem of some sort or his dedication of Sauron. It just goes to show what great detail to attention there are in the films. I hope you enjoyed this video covering Sauron's lieutenant. As always, my Middle-earth friends, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Lord of the Rings Theory. Namari.
Embrace the power of the ring, or embrace your own destruction.
Renewed shall be